Hello, and welcome to another update video about Matic. So Matic chart continues to grind higher as per the micro count I suggested yesterday. Again, I can only say don't focus too much on the micro count, even though it is playing out at the moment. It has served as well. We had a support area here. The price pulled back into support. It basically was a trend reversal area. At the moment, I'm just tracking micro support here for another potential pullback that could be on the horizon. But, you know, this one is going to move until it has put a top in place, okay, a local top. So we're going to talk about that. Bigger picture, structurally, absolutely nothing has changed here on the AVAX chart. So we are still looking for potentially higher prices here on the AVAX chart. Sorry for the background noise. We're still looking for potentially higher prices here on the AVAX chart until we see a clear break of micro support. The next target is around $40. From basically the beginning, we've highlighted that an A wave, yeah, this is likely an A wave, at least I see it like that. Can always be wrong, but I will probably have to change my perspective. If we see a break above $40, then I will have to assume that waves A and B already happened. But until then, the idea is that somewhere here, yeah, between the 38.2 and the 50% FIB level, ideally we see a reaction and get somewhat deeper pullback. But again, B waves can be extremely shallow. That's the problem. You don't want to rely on it to be a deep pullback. Again, you know, B waves, again, they can be extremely shallow. So that's just what a B wave sometimes is. I showed you that already a while ago, and we took a look at this fractal from 2021, where we also had a 3-wave move up in an A wave. And see, it looks quite similar to what we've got right now. Okay, somewhat similar, where this here was likely the B wave. A wave up, B wave, C wave up. So you just got that short and very shallow pullback. And again, you know, I can only mention that and leave you with that. We have to assess the probabilities as we go. I can only highlight that, yeah, ideally, if this is an A wave with a B wave still to come, it should ideally not exceed or at least sustain above the $40 level. Again, it's not going to be invalid. You know, an A wave can be aggressive. The thing is, though, that if that's the case, then the C wave will run out of space at some point. But anyway, we are focusing on higher as long as the micro support is holding. It's very simple. Okay, the micro support in this entire move to the upside, you could have just traded based on our micro support levels. They were never broken. Okay, so basically the idea is if you're in a long trade, you can use that to measure your risk. And of course, there are no guarantees, but if micro support is breaking, it's typically a first indication that a deeper pullback is coming, and that would be our signal. There's basically like a signal level that the B wave pullback has started. But then, as I said, the micro count is quite unreliable here on this chart. It's not very clear, okay? Few problems with that. For example, this overshooting B wave to the downside that we discussed in previous videos, and then the very messy short-term structure that doesn't look impulsive at all. Well, you could say it acts impulsively. Yeah, it acts aggressively, not really as an impulse. The subwaves are not impulsive. They are, however, that move up here is impulsive, which is fine because it's likely a C wave. But again, you know, I want to highlight the focus is still higher. You know, if you don't want to get too involved in the wave counting, that's fine. Some of you want to understand the micro count. Therefore, I'm saying it is entirely possible that this was our A wave, this here was a B wave, and we're now moving up in a C wave. But then we could go quite aggressively towards 54 and $86 roughly, yeah? But in the short term, it doesn't make any difference. We won't know until later anyway, which is why we're just simply tracking micro support. Yeah, it's fairly straightforward. And how do we do that? Well, at the moment, the assumption is that we're moving up here in, let's say, wave C of A. Yeah? In that C wave, we've got a wave 5, which started presumably down here on the 14th of November. Within that wave 5, because we're dealing with a diagonal, we also have an ABC structure, and the A wave likely completed here. Then we had our B wave pullback. That was another potential pullback bullish support zone, yeah, for a potential pullback trade in a C wave higher of wave 5. And this C wave is a 5-wave move. And as explained in yesterday's video, it looked likely to still see another extension because we had a wave 1 and a wave 2. This is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in wave 3. And there should still be, ideally, a 4 and a 5. So it still would look better with a 4-5 pattern, but I have no indication wave 4 has started. So therefore, we have to expect higher prices. And when a pullback shows, support area is correct. When a pullback shows, ideally, to maintain the idea that this is an impulse higher, it should hold above $25.91. That would be the most straightforward way, because then this, first of all, this is a pullback zone, yeah. There is structural support down here around $25, $26. And as long as we're holding that level, a fifth wave to the upside can be expected with high likelihood. Below that level, it can still move higher, but would have to be diagonal. It will then get very sloppy, you know, but it will certainly increase the probabilities that a top has formed. Yeah, I don't think there is much more to add. At the moment, the trend is up, and that is unchanged. And I think so far, very consistent in line with our analysis. It's just when it completely escalates and goes much higher, I will have to assume that this B wave likely already happened, okay? But I have no evidence for that. It would be my alternative. Okay, that's my update about AVAX. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.